So we had a card party the other night, and it rocked.
It did.
And there was some great information that came through, some wonderful questions, some great guidance, and it was a really, really powerful night. And so when Mary and I were in prayer and meditation about, God, what would you have today be about? Then we started to reflect on Friday night and all the people that were around the table. And it was a full table. It was tough to even get around that thing. And that rocked. But what we looked at in person after person after person, us ourselves included, was almost everybody seemed to be at a crossroads in a different way. And it wasn't that there's anything bad about that. It's that we walked down a road until it forked. And we went, huh. Well, I can't keep doing what I have been doing in this area of my life. Now, it's not in every area. People could have 18 areas of their life that were going great, that they were absolutely in love with, but this one area that said, man, this needs my attention. This one area just doesn't feel quite right. And I feel like I'm at a crossroads, and I feel I can go this way, and I feel I can go that way, and I'm not sure which is the right way for me to go. The first thing that comes to me as I think about that is there is no wrong way to go. There is no wrong way to go. And what paralyzes us at that junction of this way or that way is the fear that I might be doing this wrong, that I might make the wrong choice. And when we put things with a good, bad, a right, wrong, I'll give myself praise or I'll kick my own butt, then we get really trapped in trying to make that decision. And so we go inside and we pray and we meditate and we talk to other folks and we go to card parties and we do the things that use our intuition so that we've got a little more guidance in which way we feel that God would have us go. Because chances are that would be the right way to go, as opposed to the wrong way to go. Which again, I backed that up just a little bit, that there is no right way to go and there is no wrong way to go, there's just a way to go. And as Esther Hicks and Abraham were talking about on there is no wrong way to go. Pretty simple stuff, but it can be all-consuming because it can seem like this monumentally huge decision while we're in it, because our minds go and we start to put in all of these possible ramifications of this decision and what that might do to me and what that might change in my life. And we go, oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for all that. When Mary and I got into a really deep conversation last night about this whole subject and what is this way and what is this way. If neither one of the two are wrong and they both can be right, then what do the two look like? Let's look at this path for a minute. This path, when we look at this path, we see first that whatever it is we're struggling with, let's call this path over here appreciation. Or some folks would call it acceptance. But it's looking around going, and it's funny, we're silly humans, the way that we do stuff. But Mary and I were looking at our life and we said, gosh, there's all these things that I wish were different. It's not quite good enough. It's not quite my ideal. It's not quite what I was looking for. And so this life that we have created, when it's compared against an ideal of what it could be, what it should be, what it might be, is never good enough. And because it's never good enough, we spend our mental time and our emotional time tearing down this thing that we have built. And this happens in any area of our life. And that to me is one of the universal truths when it happens in any area of life. When I look at my body and I say, body, you're not what I wanted you to be. You're telling me this, you're doing that, you're not the shape I want, or the size I want, or the this I want, or the that I want, and I just tear my body down all the time. But then I tell myself, but I'm happy. Well, I might be happy, but over on this road of acceptance, of appreciation, is to say, I'm really thankful for the body that I have. We can watch videos, we can go to a nursing home, we can go to a hospital, we can meet other folks on the street and realize just how darn fortunate we are to have the body that we do. And as we start to not only accept our body, but appreciate our body, when we spend our time building it up, instead of tearing it down, we take a lot of the negative aspects and a lot of the fear aspects away, which leaves more room for more love because we're appreciating it more, and God is love, so that brings more love into my body, which allows my body to become more of what I want it to be and less of what I don't want it to be. The same thing can be true with a relationship. We can look at our relationship, whether it's a primary relationship like a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, it can be a mother-father, it can be a son-daughter, it can be a best friend, it can be anything, anybody we have relationships with, our bosses, at work, whatever. And we can either focus on, these are all the things that are just wrong with this. It just makes me growly that this and this and this and this and this, and we focus on all the parts of that person or all the parts of that relationship that we don't like. And oftentimes what that will lead to is no longer being in that relationship one way or the other. Because nobody likes to get beat up for too long. Nobody does. But instead, when we focus on what's right, on the parts that we really love about it, the parts we really enjoy about it, when we try to picture our lives without that person, whoever that person is, all of a sudden we have a brand new appreciation for, wow, I really want to focus on the good parts. Now, as we told the story before, Mary and I were together for a couple years, and it just didn't work out. And the reason it didn't work out, there were a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons as it pertains to this conversation is at that time, Mary believed that she was broken, and she needed to be fixed, and she needed to be fixed. And she said, can you help me? And I said, yeah, I like helping people. I'll help. And so our whole focus was on all of the broken and how could the broken be fixed. And all we found was more broken, and more broken, and more broken. And it didn't take all that long until it just wasn't fun for anybody. She didn't want to be constantly reminded of how broken she was, whether she was reminding herself or we were working on it or whatever. And she took off. And when we got back together, we realized she was fixed. She was fixed the whole darn time. But rather than focusing on all the broken parts, we focused on all of the amazing parts. And that difference, that shift has made all the difference. Now, this route over here, again, we'll call it appreciation, we'll call it acceptance. But there are times in our life that we have tried this route over and over and over. I keep trying to appreciate it, I keep trying to accept it. I really am giving this my level best. I'm asking for God's help. And I'm appreciating and I'm appreciating, and I keep landing back at the same crossroads of this is not working. This is not working. And that's when we start looking at this road. Now this road over here is the big time changes into stuff. Big time changes into stuff. Now the thing with this big time changes into stuff is it normally starts with the statement or the sentence, something's got to change. This ain't going to cut it. It's been too many days, weeks, months, it's been too long in this space. I've gone down this road over and over and over and over and over again, and it's like living Groundhog's Day. I'm smack here in the middle again. That's when it comes to the side that says it's time for a major change. And when it comes to a major change in our life, first, that's God's playground. That's where it's like, whoo, watch this. And big time changes happen. The challenge is that our minds try to micromanage God. And we say, I want the big time change, but it needs to be this, look like this, go exactly this way, and do these things. And that doesn't work out so well. Here's this great, all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful God saying, you're giving me orders. Really? I've got this designed out so much better than you do. If you just, as that song the other day, Jesus take the wheel, is I just take my hands off and say, I know I want big time change, and I know that this part just isn't working anymore with this particular area of my life, that I need your help for massive big change, whatever that's going to look like. And that can be really scary, and it can be really exciting at the same time, and we get to choose which. One of the men that I studied under, attended his services for years, was Pastor Fred Hallstrom, and Fred is just a really neat guy. But on Fred's day off, his wife Victoria would give him a honeydew list. Say, here's your honeydew list, here's the things you need to do. And he'd take off around the house and he'd start doing them. And she'd follow Fred. Well, Fred, no, you don't do it that way, you do it this way. Now go get that ladder and do this thing. No, you're up on the top, it doesn't work. Get the other ladder and do it this way and do this thing. And Fred looked at her and he said, honey, you can ask me what to do or you can tell me how to do it, but not both. Because you're making way too much work out of this thing. I'd have had this whole list knocked out before noon and been out golfing. But instead, it's now 8 o'clock at night, the list is only halfway done, we're both frustrated with one another. You can ask me what to do, or you can ask me how to do it, but not both. Now with Pastor Fred, that was on a Saturday. On a Sunday, he found himself up in church, up at the pulpit, and answering prayer requests, and saying, God, we pray for this person, and we pray for this person, we pray for this person, we pray for this person, and with this person we pray for this, and with this person we pray for this, with this person we pray for this. He said, I could hear in my voice, in my head, God saying, now Pastor, you can ask me what to do, or you can tell me how to do it, but maybe not both. It doesn't work out so good. And so with this route over here, it can lead to big time changes, and the bigger changes come when we allow ourselves to take our hand off the wheel. Both of these roads are good roads, because both of these roads are better than this being stuck at the crossroads saying, I'm not content, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled with this area of my life, and I need to change something. I can either change it this way, which is to really get into the attitude and the understanding of I really accept this and I really appreciate this and I really see all the blessings in this thing that I have created. Or I need to make a boundary of love here. I need to draw a line in the sand that says it needs to go this way and it needs to go that way. And this is true with every single one of us. When we look at, again, any area of our life, one of these two things, unless we're just cruising along, we're not at a crossroads, but anytime we're at a crossroads, it's either A or B. It's one of those two things. And we can continue to struggle at the crossroads, or we can listen to maybe Abraham, we can listen to God, we can listen to our inner guidance that says there is no wrong decision. Just make one. Because if you go this way, things are going to turn out just fine, or you're going to find out it's a big loop and you're back at the beginning. And things on this side are either going to go really well, or you're going to wind up back at the beginning. And then you get the choice to make the other one. And it kind of looks like the infinity symbol of just moving and moving and moving. But with this comes the growth. With this comes the amazing parts. So when you think about your life, and you think about any area that you're maybe at a crossroads with, understand the power of the decision, and the decision being ours. Everything has its ups and has its downs, and nothing is ever just perfect. And as we talked on at the card party on Friday, that oftentimes people see themselves as at point A and trying to get to point B and thinking it's this nice smooth line, and instead life happens and it looks more like this wiggling up there. And so it's not to be upset with the journey as far as if you're in a down or an up or a something. It's am I moving in a direction that I like? And we find ourselves at this crossroads. We can choose A or B. A or B. If I say, let's just say with my body, I can choose to love it and appreciate it and quit focusing on all the parts of it that I don't like and instead focus on the parts that I do like, and then have even more love and more appreciation for the body that God's given me and the condition that it's currently in. And with that, as I give it more love and I'm spending less time beating it up because it wasn't working the way that I had designed in my optimal, ideal life plan, my body will get better and better and better and better and better because I'm appreciating it, because I'm loving it. Or I can say, I've tried that and I keep winding back up at ground zero. I've tried that and I keep winding back up at the same crossroads, which means it's time for a big change. I don't know what that big change is, but I can't do this anymore. It's time for something significantly different. God, please help me with this. Bring the guidance, bring the things into my life that take me to this place that say, I'm going to do something significantly different. Whatever that is, and see what comes into your experience. See what God brings you as guidance. And when it shows up, act on it. Even if it's uncomfortable as can be. Even if it's way outside your comfort zone. Now, this week, Mary and I were talking about life and business and things and whatever. And I said, I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time to make these big changes. And I can make these little, I can appreciate it, I can think about it a little different, but my life is so busy, I just don't have the time. I said, wow, I've been here before, and I've been here before, and I've been here before, and I've been here before. It's time for a big change. Okay, God, I need some help, I need some guidance. What is this big change? What do I need to do? And for me, I'm just, airing my own little dirty laundry out there, but what came for me was, Scott, turn off the TV. TV doesn't exist for you anymore. From 8 o'clock on, watch your favorite programs, but for the whole day, no longer an option. And I'm like, well, I can do that. And 2 hours later, I was thinking, man, I normally watch this show right about now, and I got this little routine that I'm in, and that remote's right there, and nobody heard that little voice in my head but me. So nobody's going to really know if I'm following the guidance that I got for me or not. So I could listen to the guidance that I got. And so the TV stayed off, and I found myself doing things that I normally didn't have time to do. I was playing with Trinity and not watching a clock. I took a nap. I took a nap with my wife. I went for a walk. I sat out by a koi pond. I was in some wonderful meditation. And all these ideas started to come to me about different things that I could do to improve the life that I already have. And then I started looking over here at all of the things that I don't struggle with. All of the blessings that we have in our lives. And it all started to click, click, click. And for us, we said, we want to try to do both. On this end, we want to be totally appreciative and full of gratitude for everything that we have. And on the other hand, we're also ready and open to really big, big change. And whatever that is that enters our awareness, we're going to grab hold of it, and we're going to take it. The hardest part on this side is the removing the parameters of micromanaging God. I'm saying that it needs to come through this channel and be this way and look this way and look that way. and really, we're in the same crossroads as a church. We're going through a metamorphosis right now because, Sue and Mike and Justin are now in Denver starting their new life. Mm-hmm. And the way that God would orchestrate it, we cruise in today and we got Judy and Helen and Darcy all gone. God took them in other places today. We went, wow, it's been a while since there was this few people here, blah, 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 blah. What does this mean? What are you trying to tell me? What is this? What is this? What is that? And we said, well, gosh, as a group, as a family, we've got a choice. We can either go down this road, which is totally loving what we have collectively created here, that this is special. Whether there's 3 of us, 10 of us, 15 of us, 30 of us, 300 of us, 3,000 of us, doesn't matter. It rocks because we made it together. It's a place where we all feel comfortable and we all feel like we're spiritually fed. And we show up because we love each other and we're in that love. And rather than focusing on whatever isn't here, we can focus on what is here. Or we can go this other route of saying, okay, God, then it needs to be an exchange of energy and it needs to be this and it needs to be that. And so here's the deal. Here's the line in the sand. There needs to be at least 15 people a week or we're going to close doors. So there needs to be at least 20 people a week or it's just not, it's not fulfilling enough. It's not, we give Darcy 20% for doing the music and she's got all these goals and she's always accomplishing and she's trying to do more and more and more and better and better and better for music. And we've got the God box. When things come in there, we say, I really want to help. And we've got, $7 in the God box to try to help somebody get groceries or do whatever. It's It's just not enough. And even though it's beautiful on this end, we need more of us on this end because we totally value what we have and we love it and we blah, 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 blah. And so here's the line in the sand. It's got to be this in order to be fulfilling. So it's either this or it's nothing. So this route over here could be like sliding all your chips across the table saying, I'm all in. It's either going to explode or it's going to go away. This one over here says, I'm going to absolutely love it for what it is. And this is a choice that we all get to make. Do we say, I love this no matter what, and we're going to be here because we love it? Or are we going to go this route and say, it needs to either grow or it needs to die? There's no right or wrong. We go through the same thing inside of our relationships. We go inside the same thing with our spirituality. We go in the same things with our finances. We go in the same thing with our bodies. We go in the same thing with every single thing that we do, that we either say, love it and accept it, or it needs to change. It's going to change in a big way. God, I need your help, and I'm all in. Here's my line in the sand. Maybe it's a certain pant size. Maybe it's a number, whether that number is a weight or a bank account or a this or a that. Maybe it's the number of phone calls that I get or the amount of people who I can say I love you to or say I love you back to me. It can be my intuition and spirituality opening up and feeling like I'm living my purpose. It can be absolutely anything, anything, anything. We can go down this road. Or we can go down this road and God blesses either road because we're blessed. Because it's up to us to decide. Now, on this end, just in closing, on this end we have a little bit of control, if you want to call it that. We've got a little bit of say-so in the matter. Because we say, I'm going to choose to love, and I'm going to choose to appreciate, and I'm going to choose to this and this and this, and I'm going to make these changes as they show up in my world. And this side is like spinning that wheel of fortune of life, saying, okay, God, this needs to be better. No matter what, this needs to be better because this isn't working. Whatever it is. Now, when we've spun this big wheel before, and not just us, but the extended us through the internet, through all the folks we come in contact with, that big wheel, I've seen that lead to everything from divorce to marriage. I've seen that change from moving houses to moving states to moving in different countries. I've seen that be the opening of a business or the closing of a business. I've seen that take so many different, but it's big time stuff. When Mary and I were at the crossroads of what should we do, when we were back in South Dakota and we looked at our life and we appreciated so much of it that we weren't real sure we were ready to let go of it. And we asked God for guidance, and we said, whatever the decision is, South Dakota or Florida, we want something significantly better than we have been living. And we've decided to draw that line in the sand that no matter which choice it is, South Dakota or Florida, we're going to have something significantly better than what we have been living. And by Wednesday of that week, we were certain we were staying in South Dakota. Told everybody, yeah, we made our choice, we're staying in Dakota, we absolutely love it, we've got this and this and this and this and this, and we just couldn't leave it, we love it. We had given God until Friday to make it a no-brainer for us. Given until Friday. Now by Wednesday, we had decided 100% we were staying in South Dakota. And we said, in order for it to be moved to Florida, this is what it would need to look like. This is the line in the sand, the no-brainer. It would have to be this and this and this and this and this, and that's just not possible. So we had already seen the writing on the wall and decided for ourselves, Wednesday, we're staying. Thursday, my grandma passed away. I lived with my folks. And they said, dude, we need you. We need you guys out here in a big way, and we want to come to South Dakota and do her memorial, and we want to bury her with, let her put her to rest with Grandpa, and we want to do this and that, and our life is going to have a huge hole in it. We've had Grandma living with us for this many years, and I don't know how I'm going to climb out of this without you. And so we've already bought plane tickets, and we bought one-way tickets because we're flying out to South Dakota, but we're driving one of your cars back to Florida. Well, Friday rolled around, we went, well, goodness, I guess we're moving to Florida. Big time stuff happened, and we're so glad it did, because everything in our lives right now is significantly better than it was when it was in South Dakota. And that's not to say South Dakota was bad. It was great. We loved it. We were totally going down this road. But we had asked for guidance, and we made this road available because we said something, no matter here or there, doesn't matter. It's inside of here that's changing, and inside of here it's going to be better no matter what. We've chosen, we want better, and we want your help with better, no matter what that looks like. It was big time change. We had to sell all our stuff, move cross country, move in with my parents as a 36-year-old, just married a couple months ago dude. Didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like at all, and that was just a little transition into this house and space and church and family and love and card party and happiness and wow, and now Trinity, and so much better. So I want you to think about whatever crossroads that you're at in your life, be it physical, spiritual, financial, relational, any situation in your life that you feel like you're at that crossroads. And really search your heart. Is this road the road I feel guided to take? Or is this road the road I feel guided to take? Either road is better than being at the crossroads. Either road leads to something better, leads to change, leads to growth. And either road, you are fully supported by God. His hand on your shoulder. Which way do you want to go? You want to go this way? Okay, let's go for that walk. Do you want to go this way? Okay, pull my finger, watch this. Woo! Either way, we're supported by God. So think about the crossroads that you're at in your life. Throughout the course of the day, spend a little time this afternoon thinking about where you're at with all different areas of your life. And there may be 10 areas that you absolutely are not even at a crossroads with because you're already in this flow of just appreciating and loving and woohoo. But there's this one part that feels like, I'm a little stuck there. Please help me to make my decision and to follow through with your love and your support. And remind you that if I choose this way, I can ask you what to do, but not tell you how to do it. So help me to release that control of going where you would guide me.
Right, so today's meditation, I'll have you close your eyes, get comfortable in your chairs, and go within. You take those deep cleansing breaths, feel your energy get focused and centered. Within your soul, within your being, this physical body. Notice how your soul fits in with your physical body. Is it comfortable? Does it fit? Make some adjustments if you want to this morning. So you feel very comfortable in that physical body that you've been given. And feel it expand out into your physical world. As you feel that energy, notice the things in your life that you've struggled with, that you are struggling with. We all have something. And as you take that into your meditation, imagine going to a beautiful garden that you can go to reflect on this energy. Getting in touch with your surroundings, the flowers, the trees, nature, animals. But most importantly, spirit. Inviting in God's energy and spirit into this space. Feeling yourself connected with all that it is. To have a conversation, to get more in touch with this area that you'd like help with. As you view this garden, imagine that path before you. So there's two roads. And placing this energy of this thing that you're working on in front of that path. So giving it a sign. This is the area that we're focusing on. And the two pathways that it leads, that you have to choose to go down. And this morning we're going to take the path of appreciation first. So notice which side it is on, if it's the right or the left. And take that turn. And begin walking down this pathway. And as you begin to walk down, notice the path that it leads, what it looks like. And see it all symbolically, or you can see it in real life. And notice where you're going, what happens. Notice what happens to your energy and the surroundings of this path. And when you walk down that path long enough, I want you to turn back and notice, did it feel good? Is this the path that you feel drawn to take? Can I get your bearings for a moment of where it leads, where you ended up, and what your life looks like down the road? When you've got a pretty good feel for it, I'm going to have you come back, going back to the beginning of that decision, where you first started. We're going to choose the other road. This time, opening yourself up to a big change. Whatever God decides to put in your path, or to lead you, guide you in making a big change. And with this path, feel yourself begin to walk down it. Just like the other, seeing where it leads. Notice the feelings that it creates and the person that you become because you took that road. And when you've got a pretty good bearing on what that energy may be becoming, I'll have you come back again to the beginning. This time, as you see both roads in front of you and that energy, that thing that you've been struggling with right in front, I want you to choose. Choose today, right now, which road will you take? In this moment, which will it be? Based on what you felt, what you saw, and what Spirit led you to experience. And with the knowledge in front of you, choose. And when you've made your choice, I want you to take away the other road as if it was magically erased. There is no fork in the road. There's just one way. And as that one path presents itself, feel the energy increase, the motivation and the direction as you've made that choice. And just in making that choice, see your path become beautiful, straight, as you know that you can make it whatever you want, but feel as God's Spirit is leading you down this path, making your life even better than it was yesterday, as you begin to take step at a time, walking down this road, this path, in moving forward, trusting whatever may come, and feel yourself begin to make those steps. Take those steps with confidence in knowing the choice that you've made. As a feeling Spirit, as a feeling God walking in front of you, clearing the path, making the flowers smell even more beautiful, the scenery more luscious, pointing out things that you didn't see before, and walking on that journey with you, giving you the strength and the confidence to move forward. And knowing that you've made that decision, you can come back into the garden for a moment to recenter, to know that that's just one decision in your life. You have many others, that your garden is full of beautiful things, that you can go back and appreciate each one as you view the whole picture, that whole garden. What does it have? Inviting in God's Spirit to fill the space, to touch your soul, and to feel appreciation for all that you have as you reflect back. And with that energy, feeling yourself come back into the physical, feeling reconnected, recentered in what your next step may be. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back.
So who's the farmer here? Anybody? Okay. I said, who's the farmer here?
Like Scott said, sometimes after you make that decision, you keep feeling like you're looping back. You're going back to the same spot. If that happens, then you know that it's time to choose the other road. And to do that visual, just really quick, and choosing the other road, you'll feel yourself get out of Groundhog's Day. But with that, notice what you saw at the end of the road. What was your life like? What are the things that came out as you walked through it? Start bringing some of those things in your present. If it's only for 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, see yourself already living that life of whatever you feel is on the other side. If that's, if I was to lose weight, I'd be buying new clothes. I'd be excited about what I wear. Well, one day a week or one day a month, I'm going to buy myself new clothes, even if I'm not there yet, and feel that energy, what that feels like. Or if I had all the time in the world, I was thinking, what would I do? Well, maybe I'd work on scrapbooks. I've been talking about that for years. Well, maybe you should do that right now, even if it's 20 minutes a month or 20 minutes a week, because it helps to enter in that energy of what you're really after, what you're really trying to create, and it makes that creation process run a lot faster. So, a couple things of subconscious programming